Welcome back, Book Fiends, to Wicked Good Books, a channel dedicated to books and things book adjacent. My name is Nick, and I'm the host of this channel. It has been a productive January so far. I've gotten a lot of reading done, a lot of writing done, a lot of personal time, things around the house, and spending time with my girls. And so I'm hoping the new year has brought in some wholesomeness and some productivity for y'all. But I wanted to check in with a quick video showing you some of the books I hauled this month, going into February. And yeah, let's dive right in. One of the first books I got in January was House in the Cerulean Sea by CJ Klune. I've heard nothing but positive, wholesome, good reviews about this book, and I can't wait for it. I also got the audiobook, and I was going to start it this month because of all the praise it was getting from my friends and how much joy and happiness it was bringing them. But I decided that I'm going to actually read it with my wife next month. I'm really excited to read this one with her. It's been a while since we've read a book together. I think Wheel of Time was the first series last year that we had read together in a long time. I'm sure many of you know what this one's about, but as far as the plot for the story goes, from what I gathered, it's about this guy who becomes a caretaker of this home that is basically almost like an orphanage or a sanctuary for gifted children or magical children or people, these kids with powers, which is super interesting. Kind of reminds me of Miss Peregrine's a little bit. So I'm looking forward to getting into this one with her in February. She'll be reading my copy. I'm going to be listening along, and hopefully, if we're lucky, we can try and convince her to come on the channel for a little buddy review. I think that'd be kind of cool, but we'll see if I can convince her to do it. The next book was kind of a wild card this month. Is Vita Nostra, or Vita Nostra, which is like the Russian pronunciation, which makes me feel like I'm Chekhov when I'm saying it, from Star Trek. This book centers around a character named Sasha who gets invited and enrolled into this school for technology, for special technologies in Russia. And it's really, really interesting. It was translated into English. I think it's a husband and wife that wrote the book, Maryna and Serhiy Dyachenko. Truly a wonderful book. It got that much better towards the end. If you're reading this book and you're in the beginning or the middle and you're feeling like maybe it's not for you, I would definitely urge you to at least see it through, because I feel like the ending made the whole book as a whole better. And now I just can't wait to get to the second and third books. Unfortunately, they haven't been translated into English yet, and my Russian's not up to speed, so hopefully that'll be soon, because I really want to find out what happens to these characters. I wasn't planning on reading this book. I didn't even know about it, but a friend of mine had picked it up and kind of pitched it to me, and it sounded super interesting. So she convinced me to pick up a copy myself, and I also got the audiobook for it. It was originally pitched to me as basically like the Magicians and Harry Potter, like an adult kind of a dark academia, which is pretty close, but I would also add existential Harry Potter is pretty much what I got out of it, because it's a little bit deeper than a regular soft or hard magic system. It's a little more complicated than that. There's a little more philosophy involved, which I thought was great. But it did take me a while to fully grasp that and understand what was going on. But once I did, it unlocked this book for me, made me enjoy it that much more. Oh man, I'm gonna butcher this one. I think it's CJ Cherryh or Sherry. Please, someone in the comments correct me. Forgive me, I'm trash. Foreigner. This is the first book in the First Contact series. I believe it's called the First Contact series. No, that's not true. What is the name of the series called? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. This is the first book in the Foreigner Universe series. I know very little about it, other than it's been a book that has sort of haunted me my whole life. I always see it at stores. I used to shelve it when I worked at the bookstore. Many friends have suggested to me, and I always just kind of put it off as basically old Avatar. I've basically been surfing this perfect sci-fi wave where everything I've read recently that is sci-fi I've loved wholeheartedly. So I kind of want to take a gamble, and while I'm riding that wave, check out a book that I had wanted to read for a while, or at least wanted to know more about. It's called Foreigner. It is about a space shuttle carrying humans that were supposed to arrive at a new planet, like a new Earth, and instead they end up waking up or appearing or arriving somewhere else too early. And they find this planet that's already inhabited by a sentient race of these really tall, dark-skinned. They almost look like dark elves, like Drow from D&D, to be honest with you. These aliens already live there, and they basically have to learn to coexist and commingle with this alien race. And something bad happens towards the beginning, and they only allow one human to speak for all the humans, come down to their planet and be like their ambassador or their emissary. And to me, that's super interesting. It's got I can see where this could have inspired so many other books. This is a lot older. First written in 1994, so this is compared to the books I've been reading more recently, a slightly older science fiction work. I do believe there's like 24 books in this series, and I always saw them and just kind of put them on the back burner. And in February, I really wanted to try out some old sci-fi. So I'm excited to pick this one up, Foreigner, if you haven't heard about it. Like I said, there's many books in the series. The covers are gorgeous. The premise seems really cool. Next on that list is The Only Good Indians, a horror, dark, and weird novel by Stephen Graham Jones. I'm really excited about this one. I've heard really awesome things about it. It's super spooky, very gory and unsettling. It's got a lot, from what I've heard anyway, some body horror and gore and bio-gore, which is like my favorite, kind of like horror weird, like Annihilation and Born. I don't know much about the plot. I'm kind of going in blind. From what I gathered, though, it's about 4 American Indian men who are friends who get back together for like a camping trip or a hunting trip. Something to do with something that happened in their past. Reminds me of almost like a Stephen King plot, like It or Stand By Me, and things go awry and some sort of dark entity is killing them off one by one in the woods. And to me, that's just like all my favorite things in horror and sci-fi. So I'm very excited about this one. The cover is gorgeous. This just came out in paperback. So I'm just really excited about this one. I picked this one up on a whim. Next we got Martha Wells, All Systems Red. This is a book I picked up a couple months ago. I'm including it on this list because I am part of a book club under A Couples Reads Instagram page. We are reading the first book in the Murderbot series as a whole, as a group, as a book club. I'll put her link down below for her Instagram if you want to join us. I'm really excited about it. This book is supposed to be awesome and sci-fi, hilarious. It's almost like a grim, dark comedy version of Chappie, which I'm all for. Really excited about this one. I don't know much more about it other than it's about a robot who was programmed to be like a killing machine, and then that gets fried, or something happens where it doesn't do that well, and it kind of gets depressed and just wants to sit at home and watch trashy TV all day, and that just speaks to me on like every fundamental level I can think of. So I'm really excited to read this one with that group on Instagram. And like I said, I'll put the link down below for her page, so if you want to follow along and join the book club for this read for February, highly recommend it. I think if I enjoy this one, I'm probably going to pick up all the other ones. I think there's like 6 or 7 books, and including a new one coming out, so really excited about this one, guys. Next, we have another one that came out of nowhere. This is a left field purchase, and generally, just like some insight into what I buy a lot of books. I love reading, and I generally read everything I buy, and if I don't like it, I usually donate it or give it away to someone I think will enjoy it. And every once in a while, I'll get just hooked by something, either an advertisement or an Amazon suggestion, or a suggestion on Goodreads, or a recommendation from a friend. And Gamechanger by L.X. Beckett is one of those books. I had seen the advertisement for the second book coming out, I believe this year, and I pulled it up to see what the basic premise was about. And the world ended, humanity didn't. That's the tagline. It's like this post-apocalyptic bio science fiction, which is my jam. That's like eco weird sci-fi is my favorite kind of sci-fi, and I don't know much more about it other than that. The cover was gorgeous. I got it for a decent price. There was something about the post-apocalyptic. I feel like post-apocalyptic can go one of 2 ways. Either it's Mad Max, and it's like wasteland, deserty, rust punk, just gritty and grimy, and people just surviving in either a desolate world or an irradiated world, or mankind has become minimized and the world sort of rebuilds itself, and nature sort of takes over and turns our world into ruins, and the humans kind of now coexist within that like world jungle that kind of overgrows the destruction of the previous world. And I feel like this book has that plus a Mass Effect vibe to it, and that's kind of what stuck out to me. Next, we got Persephone Station by Stina Leicht. This is a book that I was so excited about grabbing a physical copy of. I've been talking about it for a while. The pitch on the back, 2 of my favorite things, Cowboy Bebop and Star Wars. Just everything about this novel just stuck out to me, including the gorgeous cover. I actually got a defective copy, and it's supposed to be gloss all the way through. Mine's like half matte, half gloss. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but super frustrating. I'm hoping to either get it replaced or just admit that I kind of like it that way. I kind of like defective books. My copy of Harold the Ninth is also defective in this way. But either way, I don't know much about it other than it's got like a heist vibe to it with these like really gritty underworld characters on the space station in the science fiction universe. It has a bit of cyberpunk vibes to it, and that's kind of the first draw for it. I also see in the back that they're comparing it to Ursula Le Guin, Anne Leckie, and Ian M. Banks. And Ian M. Banks is like, that was like my first introduction to epic sci-fi in college. So all positive hype that I'm getting off the cover of this book in the back. A lot of people on BookTube and a lot of people on Bookstagram talking about it. And I am actually joining Books with Brittany's channel for a buddy read on our Patreon. I believe that we're reading this next month in February. So if you're interested in checking that out, I'll drop her link down below as well. Otherwise, you can follow my Instagram. I'll be posting about it pretty frequently, as well as my Goodreads. And I'll also be doing a full-length spoiler-free review of this book once I finish it next month, probably towards the end of the month. All right, last two. So this one I was really excited about getting my hands onto. Star Wars is near and dear to my heart. Since I was 7 years old, and the fact that they are now, for the first time in a very long time, venturing out into a new uncharted era of Star Wars for video games and books and comics and TV shows is very exciting to me as a long-term, lifelong Star Wars fan, someone who's raising a little Star Wars fan. My daughter loves Star Wars, my wife loves Star Wars, so I had to pick up Light of the Jedi by Soule. What little I know about this story, it takes place during the High Republic era, which is, again, the new era of Star Wars they're focusing on, which I'm really excited about. I do love Old Republic, and I kind of wish that was their focus for the new shows and movies, but I'm also here for brand new content and brand new, unrelated to the past or present or existing Star Wars franchise. All I know about this book story-wise is that it's about a station set on the fringes of deep space, and they come into contact with a very dark entity, and the Jedi have to kind of rally together and go investigate this new threat. And to me, that's very interesting. So very excited about this one. I also picked up the audiobook for this one, like credit last month. The audiobook has like an acting reader as well as sound effects and music and ambiance, and that is like my jam. I love graphic audio for that reason. I wish all audiobooks had that, so I'm really excited about checking the audiobook out when I read this one physically. I also will be doing a full spoiler-free book review of this book next month. And lastly, we have Rime of the Frostmaiden, a D&D 5e module that came out recently, set in Icewind, which is one of my favorite D&D settings. I grew up reading the R.A. Salvatore Legend of Driss books, the Dark Elf books, and a lot of his story takes place in this setting. I love cold, wintry environments and settings for games in general. I do run a game myself every other weekend for my wife and my closest friends online on Roll20 using Discord. And I thought it'd be kind of cool to incorporate some of that into my channel as I'm doing books and books adjacent. And these are books. I want to do a full-length review of this. I'm going to be reading this next month and reviewing it by the end of the month for a spoiler-free, in-depth discussion of the features, the plot, the story, the different structures, and why I think this module is special. And my plan is for that to be a little sample of what I'll be doing every other month when I review a new module, because in March I'm hoping to launch my Patreon. And I won't get into too much detail about that just yet, because I'm still working out the kinks. Before that, I wanted to give like a little sample of what you might be able to find and get access to by joining my Patreon. And one of the features I'm doing is running D&D one-shots every other month for subscribers that join my Patreon. They enter their names into a raffle, essentially, for a chance to be chosen as one of the 5 players at my table digitally online using Roll20 in Discord to do a D&D one-shot set in the module that I'll be reviewing. And each game every other month will include a special BookTube guest who's interested in D&D. March being my friend over at Bookborn Reviews. She'll be joining us for that game based in this world. I'm super excited to have her at my table, and then I'll be picking 4 lucky subscribers to join us at the table online to play in the one-shot that I will be running for them in March. And then that point moving on, you'll have to be part of my Patreon to gain access to that raffle. But I wanted to kind of do a preview to show people what it would be like to join my Patreon as one of the many features that'll be on there. Other ones will be more related to book recommendations, personalized videos, and private content that only my subscribers my Patreon subscribers can see. But for now, I wanted to do this. I'm really excited about this module, and I kind of wanted to both show my appreciation for D&D and also include a bit of it on my channel and give my subscribers a little preview of what they might get access to if they join my Patreon in March. With that being said, I'm super excited about it. I'll be posting more about this soon. I just want to sneak this in there and give you guys a little preview of what I'm working on. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this one. Thanks so much for stopping by. If you enjoy my content, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Stay wicked.